Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do our Modern Masterpieces self-portrait, and this is a painting by Ernst Kirchner, and that is going to be the basis for the self-portrait that I do. I am going to put my face in where the lady's face is, and I'm going to give her some modern clothes. Anyway, here's how you're going to start. You will do some thumbnail sketches in your art folder. So just like you do with any project, you need to come up with some brainstorming ideas with pictures. And you can see I've started with some ideas, and next to the idea I would write maybe what I'm doing or what I need to change in the thumbnails. And you have to do at least 3 thumbnails. You can always do more. Here's my last 2 thumbnail drawings, and I've decided on the drawing on the bottom where I'm going to make a little person on the left there. And so I take my final thumbnail sketch, and then I'm going to turn the page in my art folder, and I am going to create a final sketch, final project sketch. This final project sketch has to have a little bit more detail, and you have to use some colors so that you have an idea of what colors it is you're going to want to use in your final project. Also, I would like you to write down some of the information that you're going to try to do in the lines that I've provided, and then I would like to look at it so that I can give you some approval or feedback or some ideas of what you might want to do. And so now we're ready to begin. We've done our thumbnails, we've done our final sketch, and we're ready to roll. So here's how it's all kind of set up. You can see the masterpiece on the left that I am using as my inspiration. You can see the final project sketch up on the top that will help guide me with my big picture, with what colors I would like to use and how it's going to be laid out. And then on the bottom right, you can see the white paper that I've begun to draw my final copy on. You always want to draw fairly lightly so that it's easy to erase in case you change your mind. Here's a copy of my white sheet of paper with the drawing ready to start with adding color. We are going to start adding color for this project. I think we're going to be using some water-based oil pastels, and then I guess they wouldn't be oil pastels, they'd be water-based pastels. Anyway, you start with big areas first. Do not start with a lot of little details all at once, and I'm going to suggest to you that you try to cover most of the white paper with one layer of color before you get going on all the details. You can see under the arm, beneath the arm and the body, where I've added another layer of color to the blue just to see how it's going to look. I started with blue and I've added some purple to it, so you can see that that gives it a little bit more liveliness or richness to the color. So what you need to do is to just color it all with a layer of color. You also have to get all the way to the edges of the picture. And to do this, I like to put a little piece of scratch paper under the work so I can go right off the paper and not color all over the table and get it all messy so that I rub my hand through it and get my sleeves dirty and all kinds of stuff. Put a piece of scratch paper underneath the work so that you can save the table and save your hand and all kinds of stuff. Let's see, right here in this picture you can see I've got a layer of color over quite a bit of the drawing at this point, and I am going to continue to do a layer of color until I get most of it covered. After I get most of it covered with just one color, then you can start back in to do some details. I really prefer if you don't do a lot of little teeny details first and put a lot of effort into all of the small things before you get the whole thing kind of taken care of with at least one color. You can see on the arms or the hands that I've started layering color. I started with white, and then I layered just a little bit of orange over the top, and then I went back over it again with white and blended that together with my finger to make a light orange color. You can see on the face that I've added many colors to the face. I darkened in the yellows, I've gone over it with some white and some green and some orange, and I've added some black at the end just to outline at the end. Do not outline first, because when you start putting color next to it, you can see how the black will, or the black does get blended into the other colors. You see the white of my hair, how the black has blended into that? Now that doesn't bother me for this picture, because my hair does have a little bit of black and gray in it, so I kind of planned that that would happen. But if you're trying to keep a nice pure white color or a nice pure yellow or orange, you want to do all the color first and do the black lines last. Here you can see I've started to layer colors even more on the shirt, on the sleeve, and underneath the arm. I will go one direction with the blue, like you see in the background, with a lot of white background showing, and then I take another color like purple and go the opposite direction over it. And then I might take the blue again and go back over the top. So I'm layering colors over the top of one another, and then I take my finger and squish it, kind of get together and blend it together. So the blue under the arm has blue, purple, and white on it. The purple and yellow on the shirt has purple going one direction and white going in opposite direction. It has yellow and white blended together. The sleeve has yellow underneath, a light green on top going in the opposite direction, and then it has some details with dark blue and black. So after you get it all covered, you start having a lot of fun by blending colors together and filling up the white space so there's no paper showing underneath. Here's an up close of the face, and you can see some of my strokes that I've used with the crayon. You can see how it kind of squishes it together. You can also see how the black line has filtered into some of that white up on the top. And like I mentioned before, that's okay for this particular project because my hair does have some white and black and grays kind of mixed in with it. But if you wanted pure white, you don't want to put the black on before you put the white color on. Here's Kirschner's finished face, and just to show you, this is what mine's looking like so far, and you can see that I want to add more rich, deep, dark colors to the blue to get it nice and solid like this, and to just keep working with the color until I fill up the page. And that is the end. Keep working at it, keep layering that color until you get exactly what you're looking for.